The irresponsibility of the Bank of Ghana in the past is the reason for the crisis in Ghana's banking sector. And that's according to President Akufo-Addo. His government started the process to agree on how much liquidity is required to ensure protection of depositors' funds. Government picked up a bill already in the first clearance of some 13 billion Ghana cedis following the collapse of the 7 indigenous banks last year, and it's unclear now how much more the state must pay for the 23 savings and loans companies that so far have been declared insolvent. Well, so far, it's also led to the revocation of their licenses, and that was announced by the Bank of Ghana on Friday. Addressing members of the Council of State, President Akufo-Addo said the regulatory bodies have let the country down.
My own belief is that apart from exhortations, we need also to strengthen the institutional arrangements, because many of these things that happen are the result of delinquency on the part of the state itself. I mean, this famous banking scandal which has engulfed all of us. If the Bank of Ghana in the years before had acted responsibly and dealt with some of these issues like they should have done, we'd never have got to the situation where we are now. But it was lax. And as a result, look at the amounts of monies that the public exchequer. On the first phase of the banking scandal, 13 billion cedis had to come from public funds to support the industry and to make sure that depositors' funds were secured. 13 billion cedis. Finding 13 billion cedis to support my budget is a major problem for me. Yet this is the amount of money. I'm not quite sure what the figure is when it comes to this latest savings and loans. I don't know whether any of you have the figure, but that also is bound to be another large sum of money that is going, and it is the result of delinquency in the manner in which the central bank regulations were enforced.
And so, the presidency, the news is that one could spend a minimum of between 15 and a maximum of some 25 years in prison if caught engaging in illegal mining, also known as galamsey. An amendment to the mining law passed by Parliament last month and assented to by the President on Tuesday provides stiffer punishment also for foreigners engaging in the illegal trade. Explaining the rationale behind the amendment, President Akufo-Addo said the uncooperative attitude of some judges in the judiciary in the fight against illegal mining forced government to initiate the legislation, which now takes away the discretionary powers of judges on matters relating to illegal mining.
It was brought to me yesterday for my assent, so it is now law. But the Parliament has amended the mining law and heightened considerably the penalties for those engaged in illegal mining in the so-called galamsey. We're talking about minimum sentences of 15 years, maximum 25 years. We have increased the punishment for foreigners who intervene illegally in this industry. We've had to take away some of the discretion of the judges. Largely because, Madam, with the greatest of respect, they're not cooperating on these matters. Yes, people are caught, flagrant acts, they're taken to court, granted bail. And then at the end of the day, they disappear, etc. A lot of these Chinese people who are caught, they've been brought to court, they're granted bail, we don't hear of them again, only to hear that they have resurfaced in the country. So we felt it was important to take away the discretion in the judges. It's unfortunate that that should be so, because all of us should be able to trust the judges also to do their bit in stamping out crime and its consequences in our society. But that doesn't turn out to be the case. So this is another important step that we've taken in this fight against galamsey.
Well, moving away from the subject, now let's turn our attention to some issues around our borders. And Ghanaian traders at the Côte d'Ivoire border near Sampa are praising the vigilance of military personnel, mostly operating at unapproved routes. But they are furious with customs and immigration officials who they accuse of undertaking corrupt practices. They claim although their voter ID cards are accepted by Ivorian immigration officers when they are on their way out, Ghanaian immigration officers rather reject their own ID cards when they return to their own country, insisting they pay some monies. Well, they want a higher authority to intervene in all these matters. From the Bono region, Anasabit has details in today's edition of Porous Borders.
Bonduku, a city in northeastern Ivory Coast, is the capital of the Zanzan district of the Gontougou region. It is a 15-minute drive to the nearest border town of Sampa, which is the capital of the German North district of the Bono region. It is a commercial area which attracts not just Ivorians, but thousands of Ghanaians, some of whom live here permanently. Some of them tell me they have very little confidence as far as security at the border posts here is concerned. They accuse security officers at the Sampa border of extortion, saying the officials hardly ever check their luggages whilst using the Sampa border. Kusi Apia is the leader of the Ghanaian traders at the Bontougou market. My biggest worry has to do with how immigration officials continuously extort monies from Ghanaians.
Ghana voting ID card, now we catch us here in Tukwan.
Even when you show them your ID card, they will go ahead and demand for money. The situation is not same here in Côte d'Ivoire because officers caught doing same are being fired by the state. For the rest of those doing businesses here, they cannot come to terms with the idea of paying money in order to be admitted into their own country when, according to them, Ivorian border officials only check their documents.
The
customs do not regard the cards issued to us by the ambassador.
The
Ivorian officials would allow us to go after showing them the cards. The Ghanaian officials would say no unless we pay. It's worrying because the French officials do not treat us like that. When they request for your ID card, they will collect it and still demand for money. What my sister is saying is true. It's painful how we are being treated at the border. I had to fight with one of them the last time I visited. Immigration and custom officials stationed here were unavailable for comments when we attempted to get their response, but I was told military patrols are common at the unapproved routes in this area. Kwaku Fosu believes the military is doing a good job here. And he also believes the other officials here should be tasked to do same because, in his opinion, they are not.
The
There are a lot of things going on wrong here, but to me, it is the military who are doing very well along the unapproved routes. They make sure they search you thoroughly when they meet you during their patrols. Ekuya Kuma is a resident of Soko, the immediate Ivorian town after Sampa. She has relatives in Ghana, but she would rather not visit them unless it is extremely necessary. She will do anything possible to avoid paying money at the border to enter her own country to visit her family. Me, I don't like going to Ghana because of the money they take from us. So when nothing urgent happens, like a loss of a relative, I don't visit Ghana. She told me it is her wish that similar treatment will be meted out to Ghanaians who do visit the Ivory Coast. For me, the Ivorian officials should give Ghanaians same treatment, but they won't do it. You see, Ivorians are not wicked people, but for Ghanaians, they are not good people. There are about 9 other unapproved routes along the Ivory Coast sharing border with the Bono region. With the main activities being commercial, the communities keeps growing. The military may be patrolling the unmanned posts, but the question residents here ask is, for how long and can they be everywhere all the time? They wonder how government intends to redirect monies going to smugglers and border officials they accuse of extortion into the national coffers. They want authorities to check this before it gets out of hand. From Bondougou here in the Zanzan district of La Côte d'Ivoire, I am Anna Sabit for Joy News.
Now let's take you to the Upper West region next, and 4 persons, including incumbent Member of Parliament Dr. Rashid Pelpo, will square up for the right to represent the NDC in the Wa Central constituency in next year's polls. JoyNews Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam has been looking at the chances of all the candidates vying for who becomes the candidates for the NDC.
Since the return to constitutional rule in 1992, the Wa Central constituency has known only 2 members of parliament, Mumun Abud Seydou and Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo. Before the year 2004, the Wa East and West constituencies used to be part of the Wa Central constituency. M.A. Seydou, a former Wa Secondary School headmaster and regional director of education, and who hails from Marseille in the Wa West district, was the man at the helm of affairs. Somewhere close to the year 2000, dissenting voices started cropping up, leading to the formation of splinter groups within the NDC for the first time in the constituency.
A group of young men led by Honorable Rashid Pelpo, were agitating to come to the scene politically to unseat Honorable M.A. Seydou. And so this group of people were having a lot of opinions as to why they think that Rashid should come in. But other elders of the party also think otherwise.
Though M.A. Seydou did not run in 2004, the agitations from supporters of the party, especially the youth, failed to simmer down. Then Dr. Pelpo won the party's primaries and went on to win the parliamentary seat.
There were those same people thought that it was time automatically for Honorable Rashid to go in because he started agitating to come on board. And there were other opinions who also thought at the time that, yes, you wanted to unseat somebody. Now that the person is no more, let's allow people who wants to come in to bid. So we championed the issue of let people come on board. Anybody who wins the primaries, the person should go. And so one Alhaji Hudu Mokhtar came to the scene, and it was a tough time for us, those of us who championed it. But
14 years down the line, the pendulum of agitations for him not to seek re-election by some supporters of the party is back to haunt him. He has, however, mounted a spirited defense against his long stay in Parliament.
It's a good thing. The longer the MP, the better for the people, and we've seen it all over. J. Mensah has been there since '96. He's been good for the people. Bagbin has been there since '92. He's been good for the people. The longer they stay, the better for them. And I'm very thankful that I came to Parliament with Haruna. He's still there. I'm here, still contesting. With Mutaka, he's still contesting, and the others of them. So the quality of a member of Parliament increases with the longevity.
The bare truth, however, is that the fortunes of the National Democratic Congress in the West Central constituency for the past decade has been dwindling, though Dr. Pelpu has won the seat 4 consecutive times. In the 2012 election, Dr. Pelpu beat his nearest challenger, an MPP candidate, Tairu Isaku Momen, by over 5,000 votes. It was a different ball game in the 2016 election, as Tairu Isaku showed his mettle and closed the gap to 571 votes.
Well, all telling you that it's going to be a keen contest in that internal primary of the NDC. And please make sure that you join the channel, because we have all the minute update on Stronghold. And during the coverage on Saturday, we'll bring you starting from when the whole issues and the congregation of the ballot boxes all begin countrywide. We'll bring you some of the best coverage starting from 7 a.m. on Saturday. Well, thank you for always staying tuned to your election headquarters. But in our last story, 2 weeks ago, JoyNews aired the last story of 2 persons with disabilities who are unable to walk and have to crawl. The story captured how the 2 finally met, got married, and are happily living together with their own children after many disappointments in past relationships. With over 750,000 views on JoyNews' Facebook page alone, the story seems to have captured the attention of many listeners and viewers. The lovely couple have since received a wheelchair and other items after the story aired. JoyNews' Henry Kwesibedu, who did the story, went back to see the couple and, assess their reaction.
Love brewed from the floor. Meet Stephen Kweku and Agnes Akings, 2 persons with disability, happily married together and blessed with 4 children, living in a single mud house with their children.
I
met her at a meeting for persons with disability. She refused my initial marriage proposal because of my condition. I convinced her that God will provide for us.
Before tying the knot, both had their separate ordeals in relationships. Growing up, Agnes Akings says she always dreamt of being married one day. Facing vast challenges as a female when it comes to dating, she tells me people hardly looked at her as a person, let alone as a lady or a potential date.
Men never had affection for me. Those who did just took advantage of me.
Agnes, who had been in a couple of relationships herself, recounts how she struggled after she gave birth with an able-bodied man.
I gave birth at the Efian Kwanta Regional Hospital, and I was given 7 pints of blood. The man who impregnated me didn't take responsibility, and the burden was on my mom. I struggled to take care of my child.
Due to his inability to walk, Stephen is faced with the harsh reality of not finding a decent job, just as most people in the country. As a cobbler, Stephen goes through the pain of crawling 5 hours to and from his workplace. Although he took very good care of his partners in all his relationships, he was always left broken-hearted.
Before I met my wife, a lot of women disappointed me. They were only interested in spending my money.
Their children are appreciative of their parents' efforts and taking care of them. Mavis and Mercy are 2 of the 4 children they have.
I love my mom and dad because they take care of us. I love my parents.
Now, that was the story of a couple who are unable to walk but blessed with 4 children and raising the children by themselves. Soon after Joy News aired the report, there were calls from listeners and viewers who pledged their support to help the couple. Deputy Managing Director of a state housing company, Ronnie Nicole, donated wheelchairs and other items to the couple.
Looking at the story, it was very touching in terms of I have never seen, 2 disabled couple married together with wonderful kids and in a very happy mood, and I could see they are not asking for handouts. He was just sharing his story to the Ghana public, and I felt compelled to assist in terms of what do I think they would need to aid their work in terms of what he does as a cobbler, in terms of the wife as well, to assist them to make their work easier. So I decided to get in touch with yourself to see if I can give them 2 wheelchairs to assist them. So in a way it touched me in the sense that as an individual we must all do our bit to help those in a situation in the country who are not privy to such availability. So I just felt that we must do our bit to help the less fortunate in Ghana.
The couple were more than excited after receiving the items. For a long time, Agnes Andrews has not seen town due to her inability to walk. With the help of her children, she went to town for the first time in a year.
I couldn't go to town in other places because I didn't have a wheelchair. I'm able to do so now that I've received one. For the first time in a year, I've been able to go to town and I'm so excited.
Stephen's pain of crawling several hours to and from his workplace is now over after receiving the wheelchair. He's grateful for the kind gesture.
Because
I have not been able to go out comfortably. Even going to work took about 4 or 5 hours to reach my destination.
I used to be 4 hours to 5 hours. And Sunday maybe regiment. But this year I am a don't be okay, been up more than mammy. This year I'm too there.
Now it takes me solely an hour to do so through this divine charity done. I thank my benefactor so much. God richly bless him.
They are now a happier couple, thanks to the love shown by people like you. For Joy News, Henry Kwesibedu's report.
And it doesn't end there. Just in case you're touched, you can always extend a hand to this beautiful couple and, of course, their children. But in your community, even in your household, there is somebody who definitely needs that helping hand. But now, being the wrap-up for the latest news headlines we have in the studio, we have more news to take a look at. We'll look at what has been published on the front page of the dailies, as well as the center spreads and the back pages. And possibly we'll look at myjoyonline.com. Well, stay with us for these.